If anyone knows anything about value in retro game collecting, I think a lot of people definitely know that one of the crown jewels of video games is Magical Chase. For those who don't know, Magical Chase is a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up kind of game where you're a little witch named Ripple just blowing away stuff with bullets. The game was actually made in 1991 for the PC Engine, but of course we got the game in 1993 for the Turbo Grafx 16. This game did not sell very well because that console was struggling over here to keep up with the Super Nintendo and Genesis. For those that have noticed the presence of this game as time goes on, definitely like this game who've played it, and therefore it is one of the most coveted games in collecting. Yeah, it's expensive. Years later, in the year 2000, a decision was made to port this game to the Game Boy Color. Kind of a very strange decision for a game that didn't really sell that well, but Japan, I'm not too sure how it did there. Nonetheless, I found ways to play this game and decided to play this one myself because I was very interested because I've played the original before. Sit back, relax, let's talk about Magical Chase for the Game Boy Color. Magical Chase was ported to the Game Boy Color in the year 2000, developed by Quest, the original developer of the original game, and published by Microcabin. Quest didn't really make a whole lot of stuff that we know of, but they were kind of popular in the 90s in Japan. They were most famous for the Ogre Battle series, which those games definitely hit a lot of consoles during that era. This development studio slowly dissolved in the early 2000s, but a lot of them jumped ship in the 90s to go to Square to work on a lot of stuff like Final Fantasy Tactics and even Vagrant Story. Not much of a plot to this game, but you play as Ripple. You're this little witch girl that can shoot stuff with these two stars, and basically there's just like evil teacher that you have from school that set a lot of monsters out, and you gotta stop her and all these little demons you fight. This game, of course, being a scrolling shooter, has very simple controls, but definitely has its own unique identity with it. You move with the D-pad, holding B is to do your shooting, you'll shoot and the stars will shoot in whatever direction that they're on. The A button is how you handle the stars, and the stars will move as you move. You can press the A button when you're not shooting to lock them in place. They'll shoot in any direction that you're holding the D-pad at, unless you press B and A together. This will lock the stars, and they'll shoot in the direction that you have them facing only. It sounds kind of complicated at first, but you really just kind of have to feel it for yourself to understand what I'm saying. Start will pause your game, and Ripple will be taking a nap. Kind of a nice touch there. This game, like many other shmups, is point A to point B. You get to the end of the level, you fight a boss, you beat it, you move on to the next level. There are always going to be tons of enemies you'll encounter, and there's a lot of enemy variety in this game, and I guess they're like yokai or something. That was just kind of popular to see in games like this, and stuff like Pocky and Rocky. When you start the game, you're greeted with some different options. You got easy mode, normal mode, and you have hint. Hint will tell you how to play the game. Easy and normal is pretty self-explanatory. Your HUD in this game is also pretty easy to understand at the bottom. You got Zelda-style hearts on the left side of the screen. The right side is your money or currency, and you'll be picking this up a lot from enemies that you kill. The bottom part with 6 slots is your items, and you get these from shops where you'll be spending your money. Pressing select will switch screens to see your score as you're playing if you really want to know how you're doing on the score like anyone's caring these days. The biggest thing that sets us apart from other games is definitely the 2 stars that are following you the whole time while playing. As I mentioned earlier, you can wiggle the D-pad some to control where they're going to shoot, and you can lock them in place. They can shoot in any direction, so this can be very useful whenever you're trying to fire at enemies in front of you. They can kill guys either above you, below you, or behind you. The other unique thing about this game is it has item shops in all the levels. You talk to this anime girl and she has a list of items that you can spend all those gems you've been saving up. The top left, you have some options of these different shop powers you get, and there's a lot of different ones in this game, and you'll progressively get more better ones as the game goes on. The top right is consumable items you can get, and they're kind of cheap and they'll give you some health sometimes, and you can use them to power up your stars too. You can adjust the broom speed with the cost of some money, which you don't have to if you don't want to. The bottom right is your health upgrades. You can use this to either heal yourself currently, or you can get an elixir for later. If you do happen to die, it'll actually fully revive you. Really nice. And you can buy additional hearts to extend your health. There's a total of 6 different levels in this game, and they're all very different in how they are laid out. There's a lot of parallax scrolling going on, which is very impressive for a Game Boy Color game like this, and you got all these different level themes. It's very cartoony, kiddish-like, and definitely intended to be goofy and not take itself seriously. I think they're really cool. I think it's very colorful, and it matches the theme of this game. There's many bosses in this game, and they all have different unique patterns that are very fun to learn and get good at to beat them down. If you do happen to die in this game, you actually get a game over, but you just start that whole entire level again from the beginning. There's no checkpoints in this game, unfortunately, but I kind of think it's fair. I mean, the levels aren't too long, and the currency you accrued from before will carry over as well. The only drops in this game are those gems that you use at the shop to buy stuff, and also candy. This will actually heal your health. You'll see it sometimes in the levels, but not too often. The difficulty is about what you think it is. Easy is easy, and normal is normal. Normal is really the best way to go because it doesn't really give you a handout, and these guys can definitely give you some trouble when you're fighting. I think the difficulty in this game is appropriate, and I really do appreciate that because a lot of shoot 'em ups are very hard, so it's nice to see something like this just a little bit more manageable. It's kind of a no-brainer, but Magical Chase on the Game Boy Color is very good. It's a very impressive game. It's got good gameplay, of course. It looks very good. The parallax scrolling and all the pixels, it all just blends together very well. And this version of the game is pretty damn close to the Turbo Grafx 16 version. There's a few downsides to this game. This game does have a little bit of slowdown in some of the levels. It's not too bad. It's definitely fine, but just wanted to point that out. The music in this game is not too bad. It's got some pretty good tracks, but the first level, the theme there, it's just very puny and weak. It didn't sound right. They also got rid of hard mode. Hard mode was in the original version, but they cut it out in this one, so normal is about as hard as this game gets. With this game just being a watered-down port though, is it even worth your time to check it out? Yeah, I definitely think so. The original is definitely the definitive version of this game, but it lacks accessibility. You would have to play this on a Turbo Grafx 16, sure you could buy a reproduction cart, but all that cost a lot of money. If you intend to play this by other means necessary though, then I guess it really just doesn't matter, you'd play the original. The Game Boy Color version stayed in Japan, but I still think this version is more accessible. For one, it's a handheld game, so you can kind of play this one on the go if you want to get like a reproduction cart or if you have like an analog pocket or something. This version is just a tad easier, so this might be more accessible for people who aren't looking for a big challenge, just kind of more casual gamers. They might find this version a lot better. And personally, I like the 8-bit style. Don't get me wrong, I think the Turbo Grafx 16 game is beautiful, but this game just looks awesome on a Game Boy Color and just really cool that it exists. This game on its own, no matter what version you play, is good, but if you're a Game Boy Color enthusiast and you want to play something like this, it is a freaking must-play. This game stayed only in Japan, obviously, and it's very expensive, so if you gotta own the original cart, you'll have to be paying a few $100s for it. You definitely know the drill on how to play this one, but if you want to play it physically, it's definitely easy to get a hold of on the web. You just gotta do a little bit of digging, but you will find something easily, and that's a good way to approach it. Well, that's all I have to say about this game. I appreciate you guys for sticking around to watch this video all the way to the end. If you got anything to say, leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear what you got. Until next time, thanks for watching. Y'all take it easy.